Well, hey YouTube, what's up? Pastor Matt here. January of 2019, we're in a new year, and of course, January means it's time to review the Cambridge Pitt Minion and brown calfskin, split calf, I should say, for what may be the final time. And I know that will be sad to some of you because you've really enjoyed these longitudinal studies of the wear and tear of this particular Bible and its big brother, the Cambridge Wide Margin Eagle. But I have come to the conclusion that as much as I love this little guy, its travels with me at my side may be nearing an end, and not for the reasons that you may be assuming. If you're assuming it's because this Bible is completely worn out and is unusable, that is certainly not so. It definitely has more wear left to go. The reason that I'll probably be replacing this Bible as my everyday carry has more to do with the fact that my eyes are just changing in my mid-40s now, and I had an experience where I was asked to give a teaching kind of on the spur of the moment without a lot of preparation, and I pulled out my trusty Pitt Minion, and man, did I struggle reading the text. I had not really prepared mentally and otherwise, but it was just kind of a spur of the moment thing, and I just stumbled all over myself trying to read the small print of the Pitt Minion, which I've called the Sparrow over the years because of its size and its matching text layout with the Cambridge Wide Margin, the Eagle, the larger one. But man, has this been a good friend to me. Let's go ahead and just look at this Bible for maybe the final time. The wearing here on the cover is quite profound. In fact, I've noticed that the leather's even cracking right here on the sides. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but this leather is beginning to crack from being folded over so many times. And not only that, but my pen mark has left a deep, indelible print here and is actually kind of beginning to puncture through the back of the liner right here. Just having that pen in there, it's obviously worn this away and it's just beginning to puncture through. I doubt it would ever come through the leather, but it is beginning to show that. The beginning pages of the Pitt Minion have accumulated several prayers over time. This is Heidelberg Catechism number 1, and here's a little prayer grid that I made for myself just to kind of memorize and be able to pray. Here's another one. Here's the travel log continued over to the other. Some of you know that in this particular Bible, I did something fairly unique, and I began a travel log of recording all the places that this Bible came with me on the journey. And that would include several different states and several different General Assembly meetings and presbytery meetings, mission trips. The list of locations goes all the way on to first, second, third page, and now on to the fourth page of travel locations with me. And that's what makes me kind of sad about retiring this Bible, is that it's been with me for so many important events in my life. Here in the back I have just handwritten notes of texts of comfort and encouragements that I use in the hospitals and hospice settings or emergency settings. And if I ever need a word to share with somebody who's going through something, man, I'll just use some of these texts that I've written for myself, just a quick prompt. I'll sometimes pray and ask God to show me which one to use in any given occasion. But that's just kind of a mental reminder of how many times I've used this Bible in the hospitals. And here, of course, is my check down sheet of what I've used to, what texts I've read in any particular year, just to kind of flip that over to my other main Bible to make sure that I'm staying consistent on my readings. And as you probably know, I do highlight and underline in this Bible, although not as many notes, obviously, as I might take in a larger edition. So there it is. I mean, this Bible held up miraculously well, incredibly well, even. I did have to begin to repair the signatures as they start to come apart, and here you can see some of the damage that's taking place here. This is only going to get worse. It's never going to get better. But I think you can see that the cover is beginning to come off. Many of the signatures are now loose in this, and they just kind of begin to pull out, and I can see the stitching beginning to pull. Probably what's going to happen is I'm going to lose my concordance anytime, and then after that, the first and last signatures will begin to pull out. But man, this Bible has been such a good friend over the years that I really do hate to to replace it, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that fully. But it's interesting to compare it to another Pitt Minion that's brand new of the same leather. And so here is the New Living Translation in blue. And this one obviously has nowhere. The cover doesn't even want to really lift. I've barely even read this one. I got it because it was cheap, not because I used the New Living Translation. But it's just remarkable to see the difference of how worn out the brand new cover is compared to the 5 years old cover of the Pitt Minion. And man, I'm gonna miss this Bible, although it'll always be in my collection. It's not like it's going anywhere. I mean, come on. But you say, okay, well, if this one is going to be kind of used less, which it probably will be, what is going to be the replacement for my everyday carry Bible? I'm still probably not going to take the wide margin around with me everywhere I go. And the answer to that question is, if you watch any of my sermon videos, you've noticed lately that I've been preaching out of this right here, which is the Crossway ESV Heirloom Thin Line Edition. And here's the main reason I'm switching over. It has to do with font size, if we're honest. And I have both of these Bibles open to John chapter 1. And just make a little simple comparison here. This is the first section of text in the Pitt Minion, very small, and bring it over here, and it's almost an entire inch larger in the Heirloom. And you spread that out an inch, and you spread it out this way as well, and it is significantly easier for me right now to read the Heirloom Thin Line. And I don't have bad eyes, man. I have good eyes. I have sharp, nearsighted eyes. I'm really thankful for that because I do a lot of reading and writing and other such things. Very thankful. But as I'm now approaching my mid-40s, I'm 42, coming on 43, I do notice that it's harder to get my eyes to want to focus. And I've got to be able to read the text well on the spur of the moment. And this presents some problems too, because it doesn't match the layout exactly of the wide margin. And I'm a very visual person, so I like to be able to have my layouts matching. But you do have to pick your poison in some ways. Do you want a Bible that matches your main Bible, or do you want to be able to read it when you're called upon to read it? And that experience of just really messing up, struggling to find the lines when I was called upon to read and spur of the moment really kind of said, hey, I think it's time to set the Pitt Minion aside and begin to use some other Bibles in my collection a little bit more. So thank you for watching this longitudinal series of crash tests for the Pitt Minion. It is still a great Bible, and I definitely do recommend it. In fact, what I'm going to do is put a link to the Bibles that I talked about in this video in the description down below. So if you want to toggle down, just go to the description of this video, and you can look at all three of these Bibles. Maybe one or more of them might be interesting to you for your collection. Well, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. There's good stuff on the internet. Mine's just some of it. Lots of better stuff than mine, but it'd be cool if you'd subscribe and maybe like or share this video. Talk to you later. Thanks. Love ya. Bye-bye.